What's up, family? Yes, I am on. I am ready. I'm going to try to not scream in this video so that I can keep my voice in order because I am obviously losing my voice. However, I did not want to make the mistake of not coming on tonight only because of my voice. I wanted to come on tonight because this is an important conversation we must have. And as always, I'm always going to give you guys research and data you can look up. You don't have to believe me. Look it up. But the only thing I ask for you guys, family, is to have a pen and paper and to take your notes. We're going to have this conversation about Gayle King because I think, in my humble opinion, Gayle King has gone too far. I mean, I already felt that she has gone too far in my last video I did on her, but this is getting out of control. And I know that there's going to be some people that's going to support Gayle King and believe her crocodile story with her crocodile tears. And she ain't cried, but she might as well have started crying because that's how her story sounded to me. But there's going to be people that's going to believe what she has to say. But I just want to offer you some insight. I just want to give you guys some insight, and you can take what you want to do with it. I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm going to give you some research and data, and you can formulate your own thoughts. That's how simple it is, right? But I want to say this to my moderators who are on YouTube. I thank you guys so much for playing this part. Don't forget to tell the audience about the women's coaching that happens on Saturday. That's really important for people to know about our women's coaching program led by me that happens on Saturday, and give them the link at theiriswomen.com, theiriswomen.com, that they can sign up for. On my my Facebook community, I just hope that you guys do come over to YouTube and subscribe to that channel. But if not, you can always stay on Facebook, and my YouTube community can go into Facebook and like and subscribe to that channel over there. Let's get started because I don't want to waste any more time with Gayle. For those people who have not seen the interview, I'm going to give you a little bit insight into what the interview entails with Lisa Leslie and how Gayle King appeared to have set up the stage in which she thought she was going to go. And the reason why I say she thought she was going to go that way, because I think that Lisa Leslie did a wonderful job at pushing back. She has to keep it classy because she's on TV. She may not be a rebel like some of us. Some of us might have turned the switch on Gayle King and let her have it. But that's not Lisa Leslie, and I think she did a good job in how she stirred the conversation away from defaming Kobe Bryant. But let's talk about this. Somebody said, I've been waiting for your thoughts. Who was that? Charles. Charles says, I've been waiting for your thoughts. Yeah, so we're here. So here's the thing that she did. She tried to set up this whole conversation with Lisa Leslie. Let's just shoot the breeze. She really did try to set up this whole thing. It's because the way, at least what it looked like on the clip that she's referring to, that she said was put out without her knowing. But what it looked like on the clip, just to be fair, is that she started to ask him questions, ask Lisa Leslie questions about Kobe Bryant spending X amount of time with the WNBA players. And I love the way Lisa Leslie pushed back when she said that, well, yeah, partly because I believe that Gigi wanted to be on the WNBA, and Gigi would have did a great job playing on that team. So he was there because not only does he support women in basketball, but he has a daughter who was going that route, and he supported her. So she helped to do that, and I like the way she did that, because what we don't see enough of in media, and I'm going to tell y'all why we don't see enough of it, but what we don't see enough in media is black fathers loving and raising their black children, whether girls or boys. We have to see more of it. So what I like about that statement, how Lisa Leslie pushed back, is because she highlighted and she painted exactly who Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace, who he was as a father. She did a great job as saying this is what his daughter wanted to do. Not his son, I'm not going to ignore, because I didn't have a son that was going to be a basketball player, but I got a daughter who actually wants to be a basketball player. So whatever she wants to do, I'm going to do everything in my power to make it a reality for her. And that's what great fathers do. So I love the way Lisa Leslie did that. Then after she mentions she meaning Gayle King, after Gayle King mentions the WNBA statement, Gayle then plays on the pictures between Gigi and Kobe Bryant. Let me tell you why I bring this up. Because we're going to get into it by the end of this video. We're going to talk about the theories of sensationalism in media and why they do what they do. I'm going to give you guys some research and some data that you can apply to your thought process with respect to this interview. But the reason why she went on pointing out the pictures between Kobe and Gigi, because she knew that it was going to play on the strings and the hearts of those of us who are watching the interview. So it looks like it's an easy, innocent slide into creating a warm sensation in the way we feel about Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi. That's what it looked like on the surface. Because she goes, it's kind of heartbreaking to see the pictures between Kobe and Gigi. And Lisa Leslie is going for it initially. She's like, yeah, because she's his friend. She knows his family. So that's going to play on her strings. So I have to sit back, family, and I have to say to myself, why is Gayle doing that? Is she trying to get Lisa Leslie in a position where she is now disarmed? Is she trying to weaken her in order for her to catch her off guard and have her say some disparaging, despicable remarks about our brother Kobe Bryant? Is that what Gayle King is trying to do? I knew she was slick. The minute she started to ask about those pictures, I sat back and I got my pen and paper because I knew she was onto something. You see, we got to get to a place, people, where we believe people who they are when they show us. So if anybody was watching this interview between Gayle King and Lisa Leslie with a warm heart, looking like Gayle is showing her softer side, then you got fooled. Unfortunately, you got fooled. Because this woman has never showed her softer side to the black community. Make no mistake, especially black men. Now, why does this matter to me? Those of you guys who know who I am know I'm a marriage counselor. You know my focus is saving black relationships, saving black families, saving our legacy, building legacies with black families. That's what my focus is. So if you got somebody on there that's going to tear down the image of a black family for the sake of views and for the sake of dollars, I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it. See, I don't trust anything that comes out of her mouth or her little bestie's mouth. I don't trust anything that comes out of their mouths. And I want us people to get ourselves to a place when we see the people who have continuously harmed our community, that we do not be fooled by their tactics, that we do not sit back and look at it as an innocent act, because nothing that they do is innocent. You got to understand journalism, you got to understand media. And if you don't understand the theories behind these two things, you will always be fooled. And we're going to get into that. We're about to get into that. Let me go on. After she brings up the pictures of Kobe Bryant and his daughter playing on the heart of Lisa Leslie, she goes on and she brings up Kobe's alleged assault charges. And the reason why I say alleged, because I'm sorry, I just don't believe the woman. You heard me say it. See, we ain't going to have no Me Too coming after me, because that ain't going to happen. It ain't going to fly like that. We're not going to have any colleagues. We ain't going to have no associates or acquaintances come after me. We're not going to have the feminazis come after me, because I don't care. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. All right? And the fact that this woman, and we can even call Gayle King a woman, no disrespect, but she's a wolf. She's a wolf. The fact that she comes out in such a time where the country is grieving, internationally people are grieving, and to bring up his alleged assault charges is distasteful. And she knows that. But she had the right woman for all the wrong reasons. She had the right woman, because I love the way Lisa didn't allow that stuff to happen. Because Lisa made it very known and very clear that she doesn't believe it. That is not the Kobe that she knows. But that wasn't good enough for Gayle, family. If y'all didn't watch the video, I suggest you go back and watch the video. That was not good enough for Gayle. Because she had the audacity, as my friend's mother used to say, the audacity. She had the audacity to turn around and say, but you didn't see it. So now, because this lady is saying she doesn't believe it, you want to try to discredit her, but you didn't see it. And you're his friend. Because what? She's his friend. She can't be objective in her opinion. Because she's her friend, she can't rationally think about whether or not this happened. So that's when I started to get turned off. I started to look at this whole situation like, here we go again. We had the Michael Jackson thing. We had the R. Kelly situation. But we don't get that kind of treatment with Woody Allen. We don't get that kind of treatment with the Weinstein guy. We don't get that kind of treatment with no white man who has been founded guilty in terms of evidence of what they have done. We don't get that kind of treatment from Gayle. But Gayle loves to rake black men through the thorns and the needles. She loves to do it. She loves to do it. And I don't even know if you guys noticed it, but the way she pushed back, she became somewhat confrontational because she was not expecting, in my opinion. Oh yes, somebody said Charlie Rose, exactly. And Charlie Rose, that's an excellent example. Charlie Rose, she was not expecting, in my opinion, for Lisa Leslie to handle her questioning the way she did. I think she wants to get us, our community, emotional and get us out of pocket, for us to start to show up in a hostile, aggressive way. I think that's what she aims to do, because the way she words her questioning, the way she words her statements are quite triggering for a lot of people. A lot of black people have walked off of her show. It's kind of triggering. And she does these things intentionally. But she can no longer get away with this. And she knows that. She can no longer get away with this in our community. It is not going to happen in 2020. We are not here for it in 2020. And you know why I know she actually knows that? Because I think she woke up and she realized that she made a major mistake. You see, the reason why she was able to play around with R. Kelly the way she did is because our community was so torn on R. Kelly. And our community, we didn't have enough people, in my opinion, not speaking out to defend R. Kelly whatsoever, but I don't think we had enough people in our community addressing the way she handled R. Kelly. Right? That's what I mean. I'm not saying that R. Kelly, should get a slap on his wrist and go about his business. But what I'm saying to you is there wasn't enough people kicking Gayle's ass over R. Kelly. So Gayle, just like a bully, if you bully one person and nobody comes to that person's rescue, a bully will bully the next person again. And I think she got up and thought that she was going to bully the legacy of Kobe Bryant. But it did not work in 2020. And what happened instead was she got immediate backlash from so many people, not just the black community. She got immediate backlash from so many people that she knew that she had to come on and make a statement. But this is how she goes about doing it. Thank you so much for the donation, sis. I think that was Kimberly. I think I saw your name, Kimberly Brown. Thank you so much, Kimberly Brown, for the donation. Here's what she said. She responds to the backlash, and she claims that the tidbit of information we got was only a clip. It wasn't the full picture. And no, she's right in that area. It was not the full picture. And I understand how editing happens. But Gayle, the point that you seem to be missing is it doesn't matter if it wasn't the full picture. That portion of his life, you should have just shut your mouth. You see, you can fool 85% of the population, but you can't fool me. You can't fool me. And you can't fool those of us that are critical thinkers. You cannot fool those of us who are protectors of the black community. You cannot fool us. You cannot. So even though you want to point out, Miss Gayle, that it was just a clip and we didn't see the right picture, you had no business bringing up that whatsoever. Like somebody said, Charlie Rose. Let's see how you handle that, right? So you had no business bringing up that whatsoever, but you did. You see, when you are in a position of power and you have a platform, social responsibility is a must. See, I always talk about this. I always talk about it, and I can't stop talking about it, people, until we all get it. Other people in their communities, and y'all know who I'm talking about, I'm trying to watch my language with certain trigger words that would get my videos flagged and blocked, but there's other people in other communities that practice social responsibility when it comes to reporting on information relative to their community. You see, they're not going to kick their communities back in. They're not going to highlight the bad stuff. No, they're not. They're going to focus on the legacy. They're going to focus on the life. They're going to focus on the successes. They're going to focus on the family. They're going to focus on their career. They're going to focus on their education. They're not going to focus on the negativity. They're not going to focus on their drug history. They're not going to focus on their criminal history. They're not going to focus on their sexual assaults. They're not going to focus on these things, because they understand social responsibility to their community. This is something that Gayle King does not seem to get. And the reason why I say this is because she has proven over and over and over and over again that she cannot be on code with the community. She is not socially responsible. She'll do anything for $1. She'll do anything for $1. So the fact that she comes on to address the clip, and she wants to tell us that it was taken out of context, that right there in itself tells me she missed the bigger picture. You see, because if you never opened up your mouth, it would have never been in a clip. But somebody might say, well, you know what, Dr. Shauna? With journalism, you want to cover everything, even the difficult stuff to talk about. And I would have to say that that's bullshit. And if you have children watching me tonight, I apologize, but it's bullshit. And that's what I would have to say, that you have to cover everything, because nobody else practice that type of social irresponsibility when they're talking about their own kind. Now, they'll blow up everybody else's spot. They'll show us naked and exposed. They'll make up all types of lies on us. It'll be fake news all day with us, but not their own people. Not their own people. So the fact that she comes on, she does this video talking about she is mortified, she's embarrassed, and she's angry, I say you're a liar. You're not mortified, embarrassed, or angry. Because if you was mortified, embarrassed, and angry, you would have thought about everything that was coming out your mouth, because you had the power to do that. Or do you not? Or do you not have the power? Are you just a puppet? So she comes out and she says she denied knowing that this video clip was put up there by the network. And since she's mortified, embarrassed, and angry, she's going to have a serious conversation with the network, an intense conversation with the network, because she did not know that that was happening. And she wanted certain clips in there. What she said that she felt that her and Kobe had a friendly relationship, and she did not want to disparage him at this particular time. At this particular time? So that means after the country has finished grieving over his death, then you would do something else and bring up his sexual assault. Would you interview the woman who says that she was sexually assaulted by Kobe Bryant? Would you interview her to tarnish his legacy and to tarnish his name? What do you mean at this particular time? You did not mean to disparage him at this particular time. You see, people, we got to pay attention to the words that they use. The minute she said that, I already knew that her apology was fake news. It was fake. It was just because she had so much backlash from so many different people. White people, black people, American people, foreign people. She had so much backlash from so many different people that she felt the need to come on and say something. You see, we got to wake up, people. She did not come on to say that's not what she meant and she apologizes to our community. She didn't come on to say any of that. She's not talking to our community, people. She's talking to all the other people that she had offended, because she never has come on in the history of time to apologize to our community. You see, Gayle, you have offended our community on a number of occasions, and not once, Miss Gayle, have you ever came on here to say that you did not intend for it to go that way. Because everything that you do, Gayle, is with intention. So now all of a sudden that was not your intention? I do not buy it. Maybe some people want to buy it. There are some people among us that have a heart for Gayle because she's like 65 years old. She's still on TV, you know, with her Botox and her crazy looking hair and her terrible makeup, you know, and they still aspire to be like her and be like her bestie. So no matter what her and her bestie says, even though they don't cater to our community. See, I don't understand. You know, I'm going on a little tangent right now. I'm about to get to the research right now. Get your pen and paper. I'm about to get to the research. But I don't understand why we get so caught up and excited over people who have demonstrated that we are not their target audience in terms of benevolence, in terms of good deeds, in terms of highlighting who we truly are as a people. I don't know why we get so excited for people who have a history of destroying our community, have a history of making disparaging remarks toward our community, have a history of feeding into the sensationalism of media coverage when it goes against our standards, our ethics, our morals as it pertains to our people. Why do we highlight these people? Why do we hold them up to such high esteems? Why? Gayle is no different. You see, Gayle is socially irresponsible. Gayle knows exactly what she is doing. Gayle is a journalist. Gayle understands the theory of journalism. Gayle understands the history of journalism. She has to. In order for her to be effective at what she does, she has to know the tricks to journalism. She has to know the hook to get viewers in. She has to know what it's going to take in order for the dollars through sponsorships to roll in order to pay her and make sure that her boss gets money, gets to live a comfortable life. She knows her role. So to say that I don't think she meant it, I don't think that was it, just tells me there are a whole bunch of people in our community who are sheep. They just go about carelessly, not thinking, not critically armed. They just go about moving and believing anything that people tell them. So let me share with you guys. Get your pen and papers. Let me share with you guys what Gayle King knows, because she's a journalist. I'm going to bring you guys to an article that you can read it for free. I went to a free source, so you don't have to be a member. It's titled Sensationalism in Media. The right to sell or the right to tell. Somebody write that in there. Sensationalism in the media. The right to sell or the right to tell. It's written by a scholar from Nigeria, and his name is Chigizi. Don't hold me to this. Uzuiga Bunam. I don't know. I don't want to botch up the person's name, but it's a Nigerian scholar. And he wrote this article. And what he talks about is how media coverage centers on market-driven journalism. And that is stuff like trivial news items. That is stuff like headline sizes, when they make the headline size very dramatic and it's clickbait just to get you to click on it, to watch it, to read it. That's what that is. That's journalism that's centered on what sells. And we know that scandals sell. We know that violence sells. We know that crimes sells, right? These are the things that sell. And market-driven journalism is designed to bring in viewership so they can bring in money. So there are certain tactics that a journalist will do in order to ensure that viewers are tuning in. She also knows the history of journalism. And journalism started with the yellow journalism era. And what that pretty much was is press at that time, media press at that time, perpetuated a culture of irresponsibility. And when things started to get out of hand, they took severe measures to crack down on how journalists went about disseminating information. And they had to make sure that they were socially responsible. So what they found out was social responsible journalism doesn't sell. It doesn't sell because people are not interested in information that doesn't appeal to their senses. I can't make this stuff up, family. And what is happening right now is media seems to be reverting back to unacceptable and unethical practices in journalism. And Gayle is a great example of this. Now, what do I mean when I say this? If we know that journalism is supposed to be socially responsible, making sure the information is accurate, making sure we do not provoke people to violence, we do not provoke people to rage, making sure we tell a story that we keep the viewers and we don't turn them away. We don't turn them off to the fact that they get mad at us, because if they run from what is being covered, then the media network loses money. So you're supposed to be responsible, but yet entertaining, right? She's none of that. She's none of that. Well, she's none of that for our population of people. She's none of that for our community for the most part. We know who she is targeting. We know who her audience is. Two different things. She's targeting our community in order to bring information to her audience that will be entertaining for them. See, she's not looking to entertain us. No, she's not. She's entertaining the audience that pays for her to be on that network. She's entertaining the audiences that are going to make sure she get her multi-million-dollar checks from that network. That's what she's entertaining. But she's using our stories and our lives as the area of entertainment. There's nothing entertaining about talking about a man who is a legacy to America who just passed away. What's entertaining about that? What's respectful about bringing up something that he hasn't even been found guilty on? What's respectful about that? What's socially responsible about that? See, Gayle is not worrying about social responsibility. She's more worried about driving an impact. That's what media does. Media is all about the impact. How can we get the most viewers? And so let's just toy with the idea for a moment. Let's think critically for just a moment and toy with the idea that Gayle King in her apology was telling the truth. Let's say she was telling the truth, that the clip that we saw is edited in such a way that makes her look like a monster, and it was not her intent, is not what she aimed to do, and that is not how she conducted herself. Let's say that Ms. Gayle King was socially responsible. Let's just say that she was. It's hard for me to come up with the rest to say, because I don't believe that she was socially responsible, but I'm really trying. I'm trying to finish the sentence. Just bear with me while I think. Let's just say she didn't know that they were going to do that. I mean, I really can't even say that, people. I'm really trying hard here. Maybe you guys can do a better job at it than I can, because I'm really trying hard to see her in that light. And the reason why I say that is because she's a journalist. The reason why I say that is because she understands that not only the information that she covers goes into journalism, but photographs go into journalism, video editing goes into journalism, images, music, all of these things go into journalism. She knows that in order for her to get a certain effect from the viewers, that the cameras have to be angled in a certain way. The light has to shine at a certain way. I mean, in a certain direction. There has to be pauses at certain times in the communication. The fact that she plays with her pearls is done intentionally. So that's why I'm having such a hard time believing that she had no idea they were going to use that clip in the way that they did. And the reason why I say that is because she understands journalism. I can't keep saying it, people. She understands journalism. So she knows that they will have to take pieces out of the clip intentionally for the purpose of drawing in an audience. And she knows why she targeted the question pertaining to the alleged sexual assault charges. She knows why she asked that question, because of the audience she caters to. Come on, people. Let's draw these connections. Let's make these connections. Now, I already told y'all. Y'all smart in this community. Who's her audience? What particular people? See, y'all can write it. I can't say it. Y'all can write it. Now, I can say it. I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to say it. I just want to know. I want you guys to tell me who her audience is. Right? Somebody said, oh, I see now. Throw the brick and hide the hand. Gayle King's audience, for the most part, are white women. There you go. Somebody said it. The white audience. For the most part, it is white women. See, we already know that this whole Me Too thing was hijacked by white women. We already know, see, that everyone is saying it, white people, pale people, everyone is saying it, we know this. The whole Me Too movement was hijacked by white women. And we know that once they hijacked it, they went crazy. They started to take on their cloak of cancel culture, and they started to go after anybody and everybody, except for white men. They like to just toy with the idea of white men, right? They like to toy with the idea, but they come after black men, and they do so successfully. So she already knows if she touches on that, and she pushes back against Lisa Leslie's nice way of throwing her a curveball. Oh, no. Oh, it's a curveball. Let me come back on and let me get it another way. But you don't know that. You wasn't there. You didn't see him. Because white women want to see that. White women want to see you bring down sexual predators, especially black men. They're so nasty and vile. They love to rape women. Right? Isn't that the history? Isn't that the history of the propaganda that they have sold as it relates to our community? Isn't that what the movies that they used to make back in the days, the black and white film that they used to have back in the day? It was a crazy black guy jumping out the forest, jumping out the bushes, looking all crazy after the innocent white woman. Ah, save me. No, don't kill me. No, he's black, he's sexual, and he's violent. Isn't that what they sold us? So don't be fooled, people. Make no mistake. Make no mistake that she wasn't talking to you and I. She was talking to her white audience. Make no mistake. And she knows that she had to do that because she knows as a journalist what sells. She knows the theory. She knows what is going to capture the attention of people. She understands that media is more about the impact than it is anything else. That's what media puts first, people. And she knows it. But let's talk about sensationalism. Sensationalism. Sensationalism, as has been said, is the child of yellow journalism. What do I mean when I say that? You see, yellow journalism, like I just said 5 minutes ago, yellow journalism was an era that came about where they felt that they had to put ethics in the way journalists were reporting. They wanted them to be socially responsible. And as the years went by, as the decades went by, they started to revert back to impact-driven media or market-driven media. That they was more concerned about having a competitive edge. They were more concerned about having a competitive edge because more newspapers started to be created. More news channels started to be created. And then, oh my God, in the early 2000s, when social media took off with the big boom, that allowed for more people, even those who are not technically journalists, it allowed for more people to come on and start reporting for the news. So right now what we're seeing in media is sensationalism, which is a child of yellow journalism, is a child of that era of irresponsibility. And what sensationalism does, it chooses stories that particularly focuses on sex, I said this earlier, conflict, violence, scandals, crimes. They do that on purpose. And what we have to understand is that the reason why it's called sensational journalism, the reason why it's called that is because humans, you and I people, we're wired. We're wired to be alert to our senses. So anything that plays on our senses, our critical thinking is going to go away, and our senses are going to take over, and we're going to be glued in to the news like it's a reality TV show. They know exactly what's happening. So do I believe Gayle King when she says that she did not know that clip was going to be used in that way, or that clip was created? I don't believe it, because you're a journalist and you know that it has to sell. Your story has to get millions of views in order for you to get a pat on your back that says you're doing an excellent job. Now, has she might not known that particular clip was going to be used? Maybe not. Maybe not. But given who the audience is, not the targets, not the targets of the joke. We're always the butt of the joke. We're always used for the capitalism. We're always the target when it comes to getting paper, but not the target for the entertainment. So being that you know your audience, Gayle, you should have known that anything disparaging toward a black man was going to be used. Anything disparaging toward a black family was going to be used. Anything disparaging toward the black community was going to be used. We know this. And I'm not a journalist. I am not a journalist. So if I know this, why doesn't Gayle know this? Right? So we got to understand that media is both sensational and aggressive. They're always going to be aggressive in their tactics. And the reason why they're sensational and aggressive, because of one reason. They need to attract large audiences. They need large viewership because so many sponsors, their money is riding on that network. If the network cannot keep their viewers, the network cannot keep their dollars. It's as simple as that. And people, when we wake up and we realize that we are just a dollar and a coin for America, this community, we are still the backbone. We have always been the backbone of this community. We have always been the heartbeat of America. And we have always been the primary source of income for America. So as long as we keep that in mind, we will start to learn how to look at these things through a critical lens. We will start to ask critical questions as to why do they constantly play on our emotions in such a way? Why do they constantly tear down our community? Why do they constantly highlight the negative parts of our community? It's because when they do so, it sells. You say anything about the black community, it is going to sell. Not only because the story in and of itself, but because of us. We can't help but to allow them to continue to toy with our senses and to toy with our emotions and for us to respond. And half of us don't even respond responsibly. Half of us responds emotionally, whether it's through laughter or anger, to the point where what is being said is being overlooked and the emotion is being highlighted. Now, make no mistakes, people. I'm angry. I'm absolutely, excuse me, I'm absolutely angry. But I'm not going to get up here and call names. I'm not going to get up here and mask what I'm trying to say through my emotion, because people tend to focus on the emotion and not the message. So if anyone is going to hear what I'm going to say it clearly so that people can hear it and not get caught up on a personality. But I know in media, personality sells. I know in media, aggression sells. I know in media, sex sells. I know in media, violence sells. Critical thinking doesn't sell. Critical discourse doesn't sell. Elevated conversations do not sell. But we have to be socially responsible. And let me go on to tell you the mistake that Gayle made. See, Gayle made the mistake of not caring about social responsibility. Give me, guys, 10 minutes and I'll be out of here, because I'm losing my voice. Give me 10 minutes. Gayle made the mistake about not caring about social responsibility. That was her mistake, because she's so focused on market-driven content that she is failing to realize that we are busting the myth that we don't collectively work together. We are busting the myth every day that we get up. Every day that we read something in the news that's disparaging against our community, there are so many of us who are pushing back. You see, Gayle underestimated our informal power. And if she knows anything about the theory of power, y'all can look this up, don't take my word for it. If she knows anything about the theory of power, she would know that informal power has proven to be more significant than formal power. You see, so many people get caught up on celebrity status. So many people get caught up on personality. They get caught up on fame. They get caught up on money. They get caught up on that stuff. And when you get caught up on that stuff, you lose focus. You don't see the people beneath you, Miss Gayle, who are organizing. You do not see the people beneath you who are getting together and they're formulating their thoughts. You do not see the people beneath you who went to college and they decided that they was going to get what they got out of college to give back to their people and their community in a socially responsible way. See, she's missing all of us because we're the little people. She's missing all of us because we're not popular. She's missing all of us because we're not in mainstream media. And that's where she done effed up. That's the mistake that she made, for ignoring who we are. Ignoring what we are actually doing, ignoring the results that we are getting, because we are waking up every day of our lives and we're sharing the right information and we're having the right conversations. We're doing this with intent, despite the fact that everybody in my house is asleep, despite the fact that I had a full day of work and I have to come home and still take my son to karate and then fix dinner and then do homework and then research the theories on sensationalism and then come on here and talk to you guys, and I'm tired as hell. And on top of it, I don't have no voice. But she misses that point. because she has an old mind and an old way of thinking and an old way of relating to people. She is missing the point. See, she thinks old media exists. Oh no, baby. Just like this is the new civil rights era, this is new media as well. And you don't get to kick the back of our community in. You don't get to tear down our black men. You don't get to destroy our black families. You don't get to highlight our black women as seductive and promiscuous. You don't get to do those things, Gayle, Oprah, and anybody else. You don't get to do those things to our community. You see, Gayle, you're going to be canceled. You're going to be canceled. Because anything that you do when it comes to our community, we're going to be on your ass like white on rice. White on rice. Remember that phrase? White on rice. We're going to be on your ass, Miss Gayle, Miss Oprah, and anybody else who thinks like you guys. We're going to be on your ass until you leave us the hell alone. Unless you're going to be highlighting the wonders of who we are, unless you're going to be bringing us on your show, highlighting our black books that we wrote, unless you're going to be bringing us on your show, highlighting how we transform the community, unless you're going to be bringing us on your show, highlighting what the community is actually doing and how we're mobilizing and our thoughts and what we want, unless you're going to be bringing us on your show to highlight what we're asking for when it comes to our black vote, unless you're going to do these things, your ass is going to be canceled. Because we're not doing it. We're not doing it in 2020. You see, Gayle walked around and what she realized, what she didn't realize is that we realized that she's a wolf in sheep's clothing. I don't know why they say sheep's clothing. Why don't they say sheep's wool? But maybe I'm being too nerdy, right? Whatever. But she is a wolf. And I want to describe to you guys, and I'm out of here. I got 10 minutes, and I'm out of here. I want to describe to you guys exactly the 3 types of people. And you'll see why she's a wolf. See, let's start with that. First of all, she's a wolf because she isn't trustworthy. She isn't trustworthy. She isn't attentive to our needs as a community. And she isn't a protector of the black community. She doesn't go to bat for us. She actually lurks. She actually lurks in the dark. She lurks out of sight, and she looks for the opportunity to gnaw at one of us. And the ones that she gnaws at are the sheeps. You see, she would never come after somebody who is critical enough to take her on, critical enough in their thoughts, who's going to come to the table with research and ready. She's never going to come after somebody who is poised and who doesn't allow their emotions to unravel. She's never going to come after those kind of people. She's never going to come after those people who know their history, who know who they are. She's never going to come after those people. She's never going to come after those people who are economically and politically savvy. She's never going to come after those people. She's never going to come after those people who has expertise in their field. She's never going to come after those people. Because she herself is a puppet. And she has been set up to be the wolf in our community. What is the wolf? Let me go on to the wolf, because I told you it's 3 kinds of people. Let me explain to you guys what the wolves are. So the wolves take advantage of the sheep. They take advantage of the sheep's tendency to be inexperienced with evil, to be inexperienced with what's lurking in the darkness, what is out of sight. They take advantage of the seeds. Let me bring that to 2020 terms. They take advantage of the sheep, right? Those of us in our community who are sheep, and it's not for anyone to get offensive. Do not get offensive. We can, it is what it is. Let's not get offended. Let's not get offended. But they take advantage of the sheep, those of us in our community who is inexperienced with the system of racism and inexperienced with the system of white superiority, also known as white supremacy, but I don't give any light to any of that stuff. But nonetheless, I use the word because that's a common language that we understand, right? So sheep are people who are inexperienced. They cannot go up against a wolf, right? Because they're not armed with research. They're not armed with data. They're not armed with facts. See, those are the people who just like to go about life in a carefree manner, and they don't want to hear about race. They don't want to hear about white superiority. They don't want to hear about anything that's going to make them feel uncomfortable. They just want to go to work, get their paycheck, pay their bills, and be with their family. That is the only thing they want to do. And anything that happens that screams out the system of racism, structural racism, institutional racism, systematic or systemic racism, anything that screams out those things, those people, the sheep, cover their eyes and they walk blindly because they don't want to see it. I don't hear it. I don't hear it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to see it. And then they do the same thing to the kids. They teach their children how to be sheep, covering them up. Oh, keep on walking. Don't talk to anybody. You can be with anybody you want in your life. Don't listen to those people, those radical people. Those people are angry. They're just angry because baby white Jesus said to love everybody. And we love baby white Jesus, and we love everybody. So don't listen to those people. Those are the sheep. Those are the sheep. Okay? The sheep are always unprepared because they're not going to dedicate the time to watch this kind of video. A sheep is not going to read. They're not going to become informed about who they are. A sheep is not even comfortable hearing the word African, hearing the word African American, hearing the word ADOS, hearing the word black. A sheep is not comfortable with those things. A sheep only wants to hear person of color, or people of color, or woman of color. A sheep likes to hear those things because those are the narratives that have been given to us by the sheep's master. Right? Right? So that's one type of person. Gayle is a sheep. Gayle is a wolf. She understands this because she has been watching and lurking for so long, pointing out the sheep. See, she's not going to go for the sheepdog. Well, let me explain what the sheepdog is. Let me go on to the sheepdog. You got to understand what the sheepdog is. See, sheepdogs are protectors. They are alert for danger at all time. Their ears are trained. Their senses are trained. See, sheepdogs understand how danger looks. Sheepdogs can smell it out. Sheepdog don't even have to see that a wolf is in the forest just watching. The sheepdog already knows. And once the sheepdog knows, the sheepdog starts to alert the sheep. By barking, by giving them information, get your asses back in the pen, that's danger. Right? There are different types of sheepdogs. Some of them will even fight a wolf. Let's get it. They will go in with the wolf. Because their job is to make sure the sheep stay safe. Their job is to make sure nobody gets harmed. Their job is to make sure any sheep that wanders, we bring them back. Because there's power in numbers. So the sheepdog understands that. Right? That is what the sheepdog's job is. They're ready for the fight. They're ready for the fight. And you see, there's a lot of us, not as much as the sheep, because, the sheep is always more. But there's a lot of us sheepdogs in different corners, some in California, some in Georgia, some in New York, some in Jersey, some in Detroit, right? They're all over the place. Some in Ohio, some in Colorado. We're all over the place. And the minute we hear danger, we all take to the media. Boom, guys, this is what it is. Let's look at it this way. Don't be fooled, guys. This is racist. This is racist. This is racist. This is a problem. This is a wolf in sheep's clothing. This is a wolf in sheep's clothing. We are out there on it like no other. Like somebody said, all over the world. You're right. We're all over the world. And sheepdogs are ready. We don't care. You see, sheep can't do what we do because sheep are too concerned Too concerned about their image being hurt, or people not liking them, or they might lose their job and nobody wants to hang out with them and they say something. So a sheep is going to go about their life, just going about their life. No, baby. No, baby. That can never be me. It has never been me. It won't ever be me. Not at all. And you see, Gayle King messed up because she underestimated the sheepdogs. See, Gayle King messed up because she's not critical in her thought process. You see, Gayle King messed up because she don't play chess. She didn't say, if I talk about Kobe Bryant and I bring up the negative aspects of his past, what do I stand to lose? See, she didn't ask those questions because she's underestimating us. She didn't ask those questions because to her, we are the little people. To her, she's the smartest thing on the earth and we're just some dum-dums. We're just going to let you do whatever you want to do to us because, not for nothing, I know some people going to get in their feelings, but get in your feelings if you want to. Not for nothing, because our mamas and our papas generation messed up. You see, she's from that generation where it was kumbaya. We just go with the flow. We just let media say whatever they want to say about us. And we don't want to mess up our paycheck. We don't want to mess up our job. We don't want to mess up our popularity. We don't want to mess up our opportunity. Dancing, right? Oh, yes, boss. Whatever you want, boss. Don't want to mess this up. And behind closed door, they be like, you believe that they want me to do this? Oh, I wasn't talking about you, boss. I like you, boss. Oh, no, boss. We all good things. This is what they're used to. That is that population of people. But what they're not used to is a rising of the radical population. And I'm not talking about extremists, but we're talking about we're going to kill people. And I mean, let me shut my mouth up. But I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. But they were not expecting us to rise up critically. They were not expecting us to push back on every goddamn thing. They were not expecting us to use our platforms regardless if anything is at stake, whether it is our lives, whether it's our jobs, our money. They weren't ready for that kind of stuff. They weren't ready for that kind of stuff. So let me tell you people what we need to do going forward. We need to always stay on code. We need to always stay on code. And for the Gayle Kings of the world and the Oprah Winfreys of the world, and I'm not talking about the actual people, I'm talking about those of us in our community who love Gayle King and Oprah Winfrey, and they can never do no wrong. Oh, no, don't talk about it. They done great things for the community. Great things. They done great things for the community. Man, look, they done things that got them tax breaks. Don't be fooled and don't be stupid. Right? That's what they've done for the community. But we always get excited over symbolic things. Why don't you say nothing about that? Don't you say nothing about Oprah? Oprah started poor. She was poor. She worked herself up. A lot of people had that story. And, right? This is what they're used to. That generation of people are used to that. So they're not used to this kind of discourse. They're not used to us coming on and being on code. They're not used to us pushing back. They're not used to us being ready. It don't matter what age you are. It don't matter. You can get it too. It don't matter what income you are. You can get it too. It don't matter whether you smart or dumb. You can get it too. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because once we come for your ass, once one comes for your ass, we all coming for you. So it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Those rules that y'all played by in the 50s and in the 60s, is not the rules in the 21st century. The rules that y'all did not play by, I don't know, I was going to say that y'all played by in the 80s, but we already know what happened in the 80s. That's a whole nother video. I ain't going to do that tonight because it's time to get out of here. But y'all already know what happened in the 80s. That rule, they didn't even have any rules. They were just free-nilly trying to follow the hippies from the 70s and do what they did, but it effed up our community. So we didn't grow up with consciousness. We didn't grow up with people drilling in our head for the most part who we are and what we expect to and what to fight back for. No, we were told to just take it. Don't get those people mad. You need a job. Don't say nothing's going to cause you to lose your job. Girl, just write what they want you to write. Don't get kicked out of school. You need that school because you need a good job. This is what we've been told. but not in the 21st century. That is not what we're talking about today. That is not how we're raising our children. Our children are going to come up right behind us. So unless America gets it together right now, they're going to have another generation of people like us that are fighting back. Because right now it's no fair, and everybody is fair game. You can all get it. White, black, rich, poor, don't matter. You disrespect our community, you're going to get it. It's just as simple as that. That's all I have for you, family. That's all I'm having. I'm having you guys, family. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers. Thank you, family. I appreciate that. Make sure you're subscribed to that channel. Like the video. If you don't like the video, don't like the video. It don't matter to me. But like the video, share the video. Make sure we all stay connected, because this is what we're doing. Do not be afraid to stay on code. Do not be afraid to push back. Do not be afraid to send me an email if you want something that you want me to cover because you're too afraid to say it, right? Y'all should know my email by now is askdrshauna@gmail.com. askdrshauna@gmail.com. Just go out there and do it. And for all my ladies that's going to be in my Saturday coaching class, go to theiriswomen.com. The Iris like the flower, Iris like the eye, or Iris like the God. Theiriswomen.com. Sign up. I'll see you guys all on Saturday. Be blessed. Peace and blessings. And always remember, stay on code. Good night.